What's up everybody? We are over here at the Fixer Upper and we are down to the finishing touches for this place. So with that, I'm gonna go ahead and start setting these doors. And I'm gonna show you a method that will make this task 10 times faster. All right, before we go ahead and get into it, let's go over the tools that you're going to need for this method. First thing that you'll want is about 6 of these 2x4 blocks with some screws in them, as well as an impact driver. You'll see what those are for here in a moment. Next up, you'll want a 15 gauge nailer. I like this Milwaukee one because it's battery powered and I don't have to carry around an air compressor, but you don't need to ball out like that. You can just get an air compressor as well as a 15 gauge nailer and you'll be set. But I just like this one, so I don't have to have all the noise from the air compressor. Then you'll also want one of these laser levels. You can get one of these things over at Home Depot for $100. It makes life a lot easier. And last but not least, just to go ahead and double check your work, you'll want a 6-foot level like this, as well as a little torpedo level. And for installing the door, you'll want the door itself. Right here, I just have a single panel shaker door that I'm gonna be hanging, as well as some shims. So with all of that, let's go ahead and get into it. The first thing that we're gonna go ahead and do is take our blocks with screws and hang them on the corners right here. So I want this to hang just slightly inwards. That way, when I take the door and lean it up against it, it has a good resting spot for it. And you don't need to worry about the screw hole because more than likely it's gonna get covered with trim, so it won't impact the look of this thing. One. And for these bottom blocks right here, you wanna leave it off of the ground. You'll wanna come up about 6 to 8 inches and go ahead and shoot it in. That way we have some room to work with for shims down on the bottom side. All right, with our blocks now in place, it's time to go ahead and set the door into this opening right here and secure the backside. We'll go ahead, get that all set right there. Grab one of our blocks. You want to make sure that when you're securing the blocks over here on the backside that you don't cover up the door whatsoever. This is just going to help hold things in place so that you can open up the door and you won't have to worry about the door falling in or anything else. So, the block right there, we'll go ahead and screw it in. That's nice and snug. And there we go. Now this way we can open up the door if we want to. We don't have to worry about the door falling out of place. With the door now in place, there's one thing that I want to do real quick, which is take this torpedo level. I just want to see how we're looking across the top. Right there, we are right in the bubble, so that's looking pretty darn good. Go ahead, shut this. The next thing that we want to go ahead and do is take this laser level, turn it on. We're gonna be working off of the hinge side right here. So we'll go ahead and get it set up right there. Oh geez, it's hard to get much better than that. So with the laser level, I want to try to get it as perpendicular to the door as possible, and I want it so that the laser is just right on the outside of this part of the jamb right here, right pretty much where the door meets the jamb at, and I can go ahead and start shimming from there. What I want to do is get all of the door to pretty much be aligned with that, which even right now, I'm looking pretty darn good. We'll go ahead and stick some shims right inside of here in that crack so we can get everything set and go ahead and start shooting it with some nails. We're pretty much right on at the top, so we're gonna go ahead and feed some shims in here. Down here, we're a little out. Down at the bottom, we're looking pretty good as well. Got a whole bunch of shims I need to feed in here. We're pretty close on the bottom, but I have a huge gap due to the framing. Thanks, old man. All right, so we went ahead and got some shims in here real quick. As you see, we're looking pretty good up top. As we come down, we're a little bit ways away, but I fed some shims in just right here. I know that it's a little bit beyond, but when I shoot and nail in, it'll go ahead and pull in tight on that line right here. We're looking down towards the bottom. Everything's looking pretty darn solid, so we can go ahead And bust out the 15 gauge nail gun right here. We'll shoot a couple of nails in and see how it looks from there. All right, we got the nails all put in over on this side. So it's holding nice and tight. And as you can see, we're pretty much right along that edge right there. It's looking super good. So with the hinge side done, we can now go ahead and start working on this other side right here. But just for reference, look at this. Boom. You can't get much better than that. To this point, I've done everything without a level. That laser level really helps out tremendously. So we'll go ahead and start shimmying out this side, get a nice even reveal along here, shoot it in, and we'll be done. All right, so over on this side, we want to make sure that we have a nice reveal. We don't want it butted up together like what we have right now. So we're gonna go ahead, take a shim, slide this puppy out just a smidge. All right, so for this side, I went ahead and adjusted the shims. We just want about an 1/8 inch reveal along this whole entire section. As you can see, we get a little bit wider right here, all the way down to the bottom. We want to maintain this reveal right here. That way, it just looks good and you don't have any sagging or drifting with the door. So we can go ahead, probably put some shims in right here just to snug it up, shoot that in, and then we'll shim down here and go ahead and get the same reveal. So we want to kind of maintain this reveal. I'm going to use a shim a little bit as a guide here. That is about the thickness that we want. So we're going to go ahead, open up the door, and tack this in place real quick. We'll work about 1/3 down here. As you see, there's a bit more of a gap. So we're going to have to take a plethora of shims, feed that in. Work it around the other way here. Just going till we have about the same reveal. We're gonna spot check. Looks pretty good. That looks pretty good for a reveal. Once again, we'll take a look. Pretty even reveal all the way up to the top there. So once again, we'll go ahead and tack this puppy in place. And now we are down to this bottom part of the door. Once again, as you can see, we got a pretty big gap there, so I'm just going to pull that in. It's a little bit too far. That looks pretty good. I'm going to take some more shims. Take this and feed it in below. And right there, that reveal is looking really good. As you can see, as we work our way up, it's pretty much the same reveal all the way through. So now we'll go ahead, tack this in. All right, folks, and just like that, we have our door all the way set. We'll go ahead, check level on this, put it right there. You don't get much better than that. So now all I have to do is go ahead, cut off the shims and call it a day. I have about 10 more of these that I need to go set, but I'm not gonna bore you guys with that. If you found this video any helpful, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. If you wanna follow along with this project or any of the other cool ones we have going on, be sure to subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you on the next one.